Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be going over some data leaked information here that could lead to something very interesting. Yet again, another legendary on the legendary food charts. What does that even mean? I'll explain here in a minute. So we do have many processes in which a legendary is going to be introduced into Pokemon Go. First, it is going to be introduced just as it is. No signature moves, just the Pokemon itself. May have a pretty decent move set, but no signature moves and no shiny, and of course no shadow. Then you're going to see the shiny introduced with no signature move and shiny, right? And then you may see the shadow, then you will see the shiny shadow, or should I say after the shadow you may see the signature move, or the signature move may come first and then the shadow, and then you're going to see shiny shadow. And now we have Apex, and now we might just see Shiny Shadow Apex. Oh my goodness, what the hell? When is it ever gonna end? All right, so taking a look at the Pokemon group here, we do have Pokemon Lugia S. All right, so, and it goes on to say a physical attack here. Could it receive a new move? That could be something. Could it receive a new quick move? That could be something. Could it be a Shiny Shadow Apex being released? That could also be something. We did just get the Shiny and Shadow Lugia as well as Shiny Shadow Ho-Oh too, so it could be a possibility. Now the only two Pokemon that we have in the game that are going to be Apex are going to be Lugia and Ho-Oh. Could we see Mewtwo and others following suit in the future? Potentially. But with that said, let's go ahead and just take a look at what moves that Lugia could potentially learn outside of what it currently does have, and then we're going to go ahead and look at my Apex and just talk a little bit more about this here if you're not familiar with what the heck the Apex actually do regarding their plus and plus moves. Essentially, you just should keep it a shadow, but there's been some more news coming forward about purified Pokemon and how they could even be a little bit better than shadows. We're going to talk about that too. Let's go ahead and get started. Right about now, I'm going to start this video off. So we're going to start looking at Lugia's moves. So Ancient Power, Gust, Weather Ball, has Extra Sensory, has Aeroblast, that's its signature move, has Hydro Pump, has Future Sight, has Sky Attack. So what we're looking at for the first page here for the level up moves, we have Ancient Power, Gust, Weather Ball. All right. They haven't introduced those other moves, so we just can't really go off of that. Next up, we do have Dragon Rush, which is still yet to be introduced into the game. So we'll have to see. I feel like they're going to introduce that with a dragon out the gate. And then we do have Water Pulse, Acrobatics, Chilling Water, which is not in the game yet, Charge Beam, which is useless, Aerial Ace, which I can do without that, Icy Wind, Air Cutter is garbage, right? Dragon Tail, Avalanche, has Dragon Tail already. And then going on, Psyshock could be interesting. Zen Headbutt, no thank you. Air Slash, Body Slam. Body Slam could be interesting, but it's still going to be kind of shut down by Rock and Steel types if it did have that. Iron Head, well, there you go. That kind of alleviates those problems, except for the Steel, I suppose. Shadow Ball, which would be damn interesting. Dragon Pulse, I don't know about that. Psychic, no. Surf, Thunderbolt. Earth Power, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, already has that. Blizzard, Earthquake, Giga Impact, already went over Hurricane, Hyper Beam, Brave Bird, Thunder, another Weather Ball, and then Psychic Noise is the final move. So it does have plenty of moves that we can see it learn. It would be nice to, I wanted to say, like, get a move that is not in the game and kind of they introduce it with Lugia, and then next season they're going to give it to like 4 Pokemon, or no, should I say like 20 Pokemon? You know how they do that, like introduce a garbage move, Boom Burst to Noivern, and it's like, what the hell is this? Next season, like 20 Pokemon get it. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. You just needed to introduce that move so you could put it on 20 other Pokemon that are just going to be equally as useless. So good job, right? Good, cool. Speaking of that, let's go. Battle League is busted and broken right now. What the hell is going on right with that? It's just completely just skipping every single time you play. It's really bad. Anyways, there you have some of the moves that Lugia could potentially learn that they could bring. I don't know, making a whole nother signature move. It's like, okay, now a new signature move, which I don't think they'll do a signature because it already has it, which is going to be Acrobatics, or sorry, Aeroblast. But they could introduce like a legacy move on it, like they did Earthquake on Ho-Oh. So taking a look at the progress, 2007 started off with regular Lugia's powered one up to 40, that day because that's what I usually did. All right, I made a video immediately, but I've learned to not do that because it's a massive waste to start us now, seeing like we've got all these different processes. Then we got the shiny. Now I did get that lower shiny in the Great League. I don't know if I already showed that, but that was actually going to be through a trade that we get through the breakthrough box, and it actually went below into the Great League. I couldn't believe that. So that was definitely a prize to be had. And I did max out my Shadow, as you can see here, and it does have Aeroblast. So we got Lugia, shiny Lugia, Shadow, or shiny, then signature, now Shadow, then Apex, and now we're gonna be seeing something else. Then shiny Shadow. Okay, and it's like next up is going to be a newer Apex potentially. We'll have to see. But what is Aeroblast? So let me explain. So you see Aeroblast Plus. That's going to be stronger than your average Aeroblast on your Lugia that has Aeroblast. Okay, so even a Shadow compared to this Apex is not going to have doing as much damage. All right, so that's what the plus means. It does not work in PvP. It does not work only in gyms and raids. Okay. What happens when you purify it? It becomes plus, and therefore making it stronger. But when you're Shadow, essentially it's stronger already, so it's almost pointless to purify it. But like I told you, there's been some new developing information. I don't know how solid this is going to be, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently, the purified Pokemon are going to be able to win CMP up against, say, if you had 100 Shadow, okay? The Purified will win up against that as far as the CMP, because I guess Niantic implemented that. But the thing about those kind of things when it comes to this game is I don't ride on that forever until it's been verified or something like that completely, because a lot of times Niantic doesn't even know what they're doing within their own game, and things could just simply be a glitch and not intentionally made that way. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so now that we're all on the same page here, we do have also the Apex Ho-Oh. I haven't purified them, and I never will. Okay, I don't even know if I'll power them up because I have better Shadows. And as far as doing a little bit more damage in raids with the plus, I could care less. If it was a 98, 15, 15, 14, or 100, I would go for it for sure. Now, when it comes to Mewtwo, its Shadow has the Apex aura around it, but there's several different things with Mewtwo, including the armor one that we still need to see, in which we could see a Shadow for that. We also need it shiny too. First of all, we needed to just come back in general, okay? Okay, so there is that. So you have a lot to look forward to when it comes to Mewtwo. I don't know when, I don't know how, but hopefully they do bring back that armor, and if they made it a Shadow, golly, that's gonna be the one to power up forever, okay? So I have plenty of Mewtwo's here. As you can see, lots of good ones. I have that 5-year. Took me 5 years to get that 100. 5 years, constantly rating, not just dilly dally. Okay, here's my max one. Little pro tip: use all your candies so they can't be purified. All right. Okay, if you have tons of candies, well then you figure it out. Or just don't push that button. We need a lock button. That'd be great, right? So just wanted to bring that information. You could see the Apex coming back. So if you did miss that whole craze or whatever, that period of time, and you were not able to get one of those, and you're still really wanting one just because of the design, or just because of, you know, it's kind of special with the plus move, you might see it in the future, and you might see other Pokemon coming back. And that is the thing about this game. It's really one of those slow drips, and I'm not complaining because slow drip for this game is good for me, the longevity. But just know that powering something as soon as it comes out all the way up is not going to be within your best interest unless they drop it with an absolute banger moveset, or you have a 100. Those are one of the few reasons why you would max it out. Good example, Primarina, right? It's not going to get a, can't say it's not going to not get an Apex, because who knows what they're going to do, but I feel like that's going to be reserved for legendaries and not normal Pokemon, okay? Unless one day they get tired and they're like, okay, we're going to go from Shadows to Apex for the regular ones too, which would be something else to see. And at that point, there will truly be no end in sight. And if you're worried about, oh, what happens when they release all the shinies? Look, we still have a long way to go for that. Okay, many years, and at that point, we're gonna have even more Pokemon and then more shinies to be released. But there's another shiny mechanic, right, that they can do. Okay, not gonna get into that, but look, there's just so many ideas they can keep coming up with. So it's just gonna keep going and going and going. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not gonna keep playing, well, that's fine. That's cool, that's fine. I already know not everybody is gonna stick around forever, but there's also new people picking it up all the time. Remember, This is Pokemon, okay? It's not like people are going to look at it and be like, I don't like that. There's always going to be somebody trying to download it, trying to play it for the first time every single day, round the clock. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.